We live, baby, with another week. Excited. Semester's almost over. I know you're excited, right? This is the last month, so it's going down. All right, let's just wait a couple more minutes. Maybe about another minute. See who else jump on. If not, this train is going to pull off, and they're just going to have to catch the replay. So that's how we're going to do it. All right. So give me a second here. Make sure you got your notes ready. Make sure you're here, your mind is open, you're excited, you're ready to engage, and you're ready to make it happen, all right? So we're going to give about another 30 seconds. Whoever else wants to jump on, going to jump on. But after that, this train is taking off. Train's pulling out the station. This flight is taking off. And we're going to help you save some money. And we're going to help you make some money so you could afford this tuition, all right? So I'm going to give it about another 15 seconds. I'm here. I'm ready. Got all my notes ready and prepared for you so we can have a great, productive 30 minutes. Okay? So get your pen, get your paper out, whatever you need to do. Of course, you're going to have access to this replay, and you can always watch this at any time. Okay? Make sure I have everything ready for you. That's that. And this is this. All right. So, welcome to another live cast. I welcome you here today, and I'm so glad that you decided to join and come back for another session, because this session is very critical. This is the turning point for a lot of different students that's in school. It can be a place where you really feel, upset, or you feel frustrated with the fact that it's just hard to pay for school. Each and every year, each and every semester, just trying to get the money up, trying to pay, trying to figure it out, having to call moms. Hey, moms, what can I do? How can we pay for this? Trying to hope and pray that you get accepted for financial aid, or just hope and pray you get any kind of money back from financial aid so you can be able to pay for your books and pay for things. And it can be very stressful, especially if you don't know what you need to do in order to pay for school, pay for college on a daily basis. So, or on a yearly basis rather. So, I'm glad that you're here today and you're willing to learn some things. Hopefully, you'll be able to learn a few things that's going to help you pay for school. Hopefully, you learn a few tips, little tricks. These are a few things that I've learned coming through school, going through my bachelor's degree and going through my master's degree. And hopefully, you'll be able to take a few things away that can help yourself and maybe help some of your peer groups around you. So, that's why we're here today, all right? So I'm glad. Now, we're going to jump into it. As always, for those who join live today, I'm gonna be giving away a few prizes, few goodies, just for coming here, just for investing in yourself. So I'll be doing that throughout as well, and then also make sure that you're paying attention, notes, and all that good stuff. All right. So what do we need to do? What can we do when it comes to paying for school and college? Right. What are the 5 major things that you can do in order to pay for school so you can afford tuition, afford books, do those different type of things, right? Like what are some of the things that you could do? Well, I can say throughout my tenure of school, I've learned a few things from talking to people, just from learning, from listening, from reading, from, everything from watching videos to see how students really doing it and paying for school. So that's what I'm gonna go through, all right? So the first thing, we're gonna start with the elephant that's in the room that pretty much nobody can get past. So majority of students are not going to be able to get past, to overcome, to get the maximum amount of money that they need. And that's talking about this FAFSA process. When it comes to FAFSA, right, you have to be able to fill out and complete this FAFSA application in a way that's going to help you get the maximum amount of money back, right? So that's the first thing, filling out the FAFSA correctly. What do you got to do in order to do all that, to make FAFSA you're basically one of your go-to sources, right? Majority of students do it, but what are some of the things that you got to do in order to take advantage of FAFSA to make it your go-to thing? Well, first thing, first, if you have my book or if you ever read it, then you know that you know about a concept that I talked about in The Fastest Way to Win in College. You know that I talked about a concept called the 4 FAFSA laws, right? And what those 4 FAFSA laws are, these are the things that you absolutely must do in order to get yourself in order to get the maximum amount of A back when you're talking about college. So what are those laws, right? First law, you got to make sure that you know your start dates and your end dates, right? You know your start dates and you know your deadlines. First, you got to think about it like this. The government does not have an unlimited amount of money. So there's a certain pot that's being used. And out of this pot, right, there's a certain date when you can start putting in your info and start getting money back, right? Put in your info, and then they'll calculate everything, and then they'll get you the money back. And then also you got to know what your end dates are, because if you're missing those end dates, there's going to be less money in a pot. And then also you're gonna be missing deadlines. It's gonna be less likely that you get even the amount of aid that you should have gotten back. So knowing your start dates and knowing your end dates when it comes to FAFSA is very important. You don't want to be missing that. For a long time, when it came to starting and filling out your FAFSA application, it was like what, end of January, maybe beginning of February, when it was like, okay, this is the time that you got to start putting in your FAFSA applications. But now, it just started in 2016. Now, when it comes to filling out applications, and right now, especially you in school, you actually should have been put your application in October of last year. Now, you're not late now, but you're later than what you could have been. And so that's why it's important to know when those start dates and end dates are. So now, from now on, no matter how many years you got left, if you're a freshman, sophomore, junior, whoever, right? Whatever part you're in, just know that in October of every year is when this is the official time when you can start putting in FAFSA applications. So it's important to know that, because you got that bucket, right? If you know about the second law of the 4 FAFSA laws within the book, I also talk about knowing that what paperwork you need. So specific paperwork, obviously, that you got to have, right? Specific documentation, taxes, information, things of that nature. Now, we all get frustrated when it comes to filling out the process. Like, we hate it. So we just, we just put anything down that we want, right? Type anything in. We don't care. We just want to try to get through this process as fast as possible. And the only thing about that is, when you're filling out your online application, there's something called the EFC score. And what your EFC is, an estimated family contribution. And that's what the government goes off of when it comes to them calculating how much money your family can contribute to put towards tuition. So if you just putting in anything, and you just putting in last year's information, or you just putting in, things that you think is correct, but you're not really sure, and you probably can't get in contact with your parents and your mom, you're just trying to do something, then you're not going to get the most amount of money that you can from the government in order to pay for school. So you got to keep that in mind too. The next thing is, make sure you're filling out, make sure that you are filling out correctly. It sort of goes with the, know the paperwork that's needed, because you got to have that correct paperwork, but then also make sure you're filling it out correctly as well. So, that pretty much goes hand in hand with that. And then the last thing is, if you can, also, if you want to get the maximum amount of aid, remember, this is still the first step. If you want to get the maximum amount of aid back, make sure that you have make sure that you petition for a new award amount or new aid amount. See, when it comes, things can happen, right? You can, at the time that you're filling out your FAFSA information, you could be in a place where you're looking to, you're looking to get whatever, the most amount, right? But then by the time things can happen 1, 2, 3 months down the line before the school year, semester starts, and things could change. So when things change, right, let's say you might add a new family member, or somebody, or maybe your mother, your father, somebody, your legal guardian, they end up losing their job. Well, that's going to change the amount of money that's being brought into the household, because that's what they're using in order to say, okay, you can afford this amount or whatever, right? So it's important that you petition for a new award amount based on the changing circumstances that's within your family. So if you do those things, you're going to notice that the amount of aid that you get from one year to the next could be dramatically different. So that's just the first thing. Make sure you do those things. If you really want to know more about that in detail, you're excited about it, make sure that you pick up my book, The Fastest Way to Win in College, and I talk about the 4 FAFSA laws. All right. So that's the first thing. Next, we're looking at number 2. If you're really looking to pay for college, especially if you don't have that much money, look into scholarships. Now, what can you do to really start getting scholarships? For me, I was just completely ignorant trying to figure out this scholarship thing at first. To me, it was just like, listen, if I'm not an athlete, or if I don't have straight A's and I'm not that smart, what can I do? What can I do? You know, I can't do nothing to get a scholarship, and that's a good question, Daniel. What can I do to obtain scholarships to pay for college? And that's exactly what we're talking about right now. So me just trying to figure this out is, at first I didn't understand it and I didn't like it, because I didn't feel like I was smart enough to do it. But some of the ways that you can start getting scholarships is one of the easiest ways is to go online and do a scholarship search. The great thing about that is, you have websites like FastWeb, you have websites like like College Board. There's different websites out there that you can go to apply for scholarships. Now, the great thing about that is that you can there's a wide range of different scholarship websites you could go to, but there's a wide range of different applications and different categories and everything. You got scholarships for minorities, you got scholarships for black women, you got scholarships for just for taking up a certain major. You got have scholarships. There's hundreds, even thousands of different scholarships that you can take. And the main thing I would say when it really comes to scholarships and that aspect of it when you're applying for it is just you got to be consistent in you applying for. Like, I need you to have, when it comes to scholarships, you got to be like in a certain kind of mindset to apply and get a scholarship, because scholarships could be frustrating that you spending time, you spending energy going online, filling out the things. And it's not always just, all right, I got to do an essay or something like that. There's different things. There's competitions you can do to get scholarships. Is, you just taking a major, anything, whatever you can do. But you got to have that mindset of, all right, I have to be consistent in applying for scholarships. Like, you have to look at applying for scholarships the same way you look at applying for a job. And you got to keep on going. Like, if you're applying for jobs, you're trying to get work, you're not going to just apply to one job, right? You're going to continuously apply to different jobs every day. You're going to be at that computer typing, filling out applications and doing things, right? So it has to be the same type of approach when it comes to getting scholarships. You got to continuously every day. You might be like, all right, cool, I got about an extra hour today that I can use in order to put towards applying to scholarships. And that's how you got to approach it. You got to be like, all right, for this hour, I'm going to try to do I could probably do 3. So I'm going to do 3 today. And every day I'm going to put aside an hour and do 3 scholarships. And that's how you got to do it. So then at the end of the month, if you're applying to 3 every day, at the end of 1 month, you could have applied to 90 different scholarships by the end of 1 month, right? Just doing 3 a day. Think about that. So, and it'll start piling up, and then you'll notice you'll start to get scholarships. It may not be the biggest scholarships. It might not be able to cover your tuition for the entire year. It may be 1,000. Some might be 500. You might get one for maybe 2,000, 3,000, 5,000. It depends, right? Depends on what it is. Depends on how much effort. But if you can at least do that and you apply to 90, 100 scholarships by the end of the month, it's likely that you're gonna get accepted, or it's likely that you're gonna be able to get some money in order to pay for school, all right? And then another way to get scholarships, of course, is to use the, of course, you could go the sports route. If you're into any kind of sports or anything like that, it's always good to try to showcase your talent to people. It's always best that, you are, if you could try to be a part of a team and show how great you are, whatever the case is, you can always try to go that way as well. Of course, if you're smart academically, there's academic scholarships, so you could try joining organizations or clubs on campus, and they'll help you get scholarships that way, all right? So those are some of the best ways that I could found in regards to scholarships on the things that you can do. But the overall concept when it comes to this big mystic way of getting scholarships is just you got to continuously apply yourself, all right? So that's number 2. All right, so number 3. Third thing is really just getting donations. Get donations. People don't like it. Oh, donations. You feel like you're homeless, like you on the street trying to get change or something. But it's really not like that. And more people are willing to help you really think. No problem, Dan. I hope that helps. Scholarship is just one way. So so stick around for the rest of these tips. All right. But yeah, for donations, don't look at donations as you going to somebody and like you homeless, your clothes is all ripped up and you begging. First of all, you're not gonna beg, and you don't have to beg nobody. When it comes to really getting donations, all that really means is that you're here as a human being trying to do something right in the world. You're in college, you're doing something great. You're trying to be able to receive money so you can be employed some kind of way, so you can give back to society in a positive way, right? So when it comes to donations, what you can look at is the best way that I found is to go to local organizations and companies, mainly organizations and nonprofits, in order to get some kind of donation so it can help put towards your schooling, or it can help put towards your books, right? So when I was in and I still am I still am a Mason, Prince Hall Mason, right? And I remember even as a Sigma in our chapter meetings, but either in the lodge meetings or the chapter meetings, I can remember going to these meetings, and at least every meeting or every other meeting, there's somebody that's asking, or there's somebody that's requesting that to get some kind of money for something, and most of the times in both organizations, I realized that if we have it, we're able to do it. Especially if you go to because if you're in school now and you're going to the chapter, you're trying to request money from chapters that's on campus. You may have some luck with that, you may not. But what I would recommend is go to fraternities and sororities and organizations that has grad chapters, because those are the people that got the money. You get what I'm saying? These are people that's working hard. They're going to work 9 to 5 every day. They got families. They got entrepreneurial ventures and businesses and all types of things, right? Because remember, you have people that's in grad chapters that's everywhere from 21 to 81, 91, right? So you got people who has that they've been around the block and they probably got some money. So I would say that would be the best way to go when it comes to trying to get donations. And all that really looks like is you selecting, okay, what chapters is in an area that you can look at. That's nothing but a letter, just explaining who you are, explaining what you're about, maybe what you want to do with your career, and then also saying, hey, this is what I'm looking to afford, and you don't want to try to bust nobody in the head. So you don't want to say, hey, I'm trying to afford I'm trying to afford this amount of my tuition, so I'm looking if the chapter could donate $10,000 to me in order to. That's a little bit too much, especially when some chapters they range from maybe 30 to maybe 50 members, depending on it. Some are even less. So you don't really want to say too much. I would say keep it if you can keep it under maybe like 1,000 to 2,000. And remember, you don't have to just talk to one chapter. There's plenty of different chapters. There's plenty of different organizations, Greek life and nonprofits. So maybe if you ask for maybe 500, 750, something like that, right? And maybe if you ask for those things, but then you're doing it from a few different you do it to a few different chapters. Now it starts adding up. Next thing you know, now you just made $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 that you can either put towards your tuition or you can put towards your books. All right, so don't look down at donations. Don't be scared of it. You don't got to look at it as selling. All it really is just you creating a letter, packaging it up nice, giving it to whoever the chapter secretary is, and then they'll bring that to the next chapter meeting, the next communication meeting, and then they'll read it. And then once they read it, and everybody in the organization or everybody that's in that chapter, they'll listen to your story, and then they'll take a vote and then say, hey, all right, we want to support. So people will go around and say, hey, I support $10, $20, 30, 40, however much people support, and then they'll come back to you at some point in the future, and then that'll be your money. Or what they'll do is, instead of just doing it separately that way, they'll just take it out of whatever their chapter bank is, and then they'll say, all right, well, we're going to support to this cause. We're going to support $500 to Danielle, and that is going to be the money that we're going to contribute towards her cause for her books or for her tuition, right? So that is what you can do as well. Donations, and plenty of people do it, and plenty of people are still doing it. And I think it's a great way in order to get money. All right. Number five, you looking to get some more money. So what's the fourth thing that you can do? Well, the fourth thing that you can do is move off campus. Yes, move off campus. Just pack your bags and get up out of there. If you don't already live, if you still living on campus and you looking to save some money, move off campus, because you got to remember that a certain part of your tuition is room and board. So this room and board is taking up whatever that percentage is, and is driving your tuition up. So it's important that you realize that that's a part that you can control, right? So room, board, takes off, food and everything, and that can actually help you save a lot of money. There's students that's, even in this program right now that, have done that. I've done that. I've had to do it before. There's plenty of students that do that and move off campus. Now you're thinking, well, if I'm moving off campus, then, how I'm gonna afford tuition, how I'm gonna afford, my room, where am I going to live? And, that's something that really you got to figure out is, what are you going to do? Are you going to end up working? Or maybe you have some parents, or maybe you have somebody that can help support you, or maybe you could move in with a roommate. Maybe there's a family member that's around, that's in the area that you can move with. So you just got to sort of figure that part out. But when it comes to, because you got to remember, if you're doing room and board for the entire semester, then you got to understand that they making you pay for all that stuff up front. So at least if you're moving off campus and now you have a roommate and there's other things that of that nature, you can move in with them, and then one, you don't have to pay all that money up front, and then two, maybe you could have like a family member, a mom, a dad, or whoever help pay your portion of the rent while you're there for the semester. Then you don't have to worry about paying that extra chunk that's part of your tuition and that's making it that much harder for you to pay for school. All right, so just move off campus. There's nothing wrong with that. You got to set it up beforehand. But it's a great way in order to save some money very quickly if you can't afford tuition or you don't really have the money to pay for it. All right. So that's number 5. Then number five is just come up out the pocket, which is actually, I didn't really put that down, but it's more of a monthly payment. So, you have a monthly payment option, and I really put this one last because I know many students is really not trying to do that, or families really not trying to just come out their pocket and pay themselves. But you got to do what you got to do if you want to get the education that you say that you want to get, right? So make sure that if you're in a place, right, where you need to really just pay and, you're not getting the amount of the financial aid that you need to get, well, what schools also have is they have an option where you can pay per month. Now, I don't know if they give you the entire semester, but I think they may give you maybe like 3-4 months. So pretty much they may give you like a semester to pay for that, but they'll break it up and say, all right, well, you want to be able to pay for the semester, you're going to have to pay, $700 a month, or you might have to pay, $1,000 a month, $500,000. It really just depends on the amount of money left that you have to pay. So, how do you make those ends meet? Well, it might look something along the lines of, you getting a job. Maybe you might have a family member help you out, or maybe you'll do something like, maybe you'll do something to add some of these other methods on that's going to help too, right? Because you might have, imagine if you're doing all these things together and it's going to help you save some money to where now it's a manageable amount where you could pay per month. Like, check this out. Like, what if you filled out your FAFSA correctly, right? And this is assuming that you're doing this in advance. I know if it's late and you're trying to figure it out now, that it could be a little bit harder. But if you was able to figure this out before, you filled out the FAFSA correct, so you was able to get the maximum amount of aid there. Then you started looking at scholarships and you started applying to a lot of scholarships. Boom, you might have a couple thousand there that you was able to get. So that took a lot off of it. Boom. Then you was able to look at getting some donations. So then you got so now you're approaching a few different organizations every month, and you getting certain money. You getting hundreds of dollars there, maybe $1,000 there, right? So that takes down the tuition a little bit lower. Then you decide to move off campus. Boom. Then you take that big chunk off of it. And then now that dramatically lowers the amount that you got to pay. And then now you've done stacked all of these things together in order to lower your tuition. then now it may be maybe only a few couple $100. Maybe just those few $100 after doing everything else, maybe that's manageable to you. Maybe you could do something else that can help supplement that couple $100 you need to pay each month. Maybe you could, take a job at, Chipotle that works around your hours, and maybe you could be a waiter, or you could be a waitress, or you could do some kind of work at home job where you're able to set your own hours. So there's certain things that you can do in order to help you, because I mean, one of the things right now, right, I'm preparing for a wedding, and I'm doing one of the things I'm doing outside of my normal job is a company called Arise, and what this company is a stay at home, create your own hours, work from home job. And what it is and I'm working for Carnival Cruise, and so we're going through the training and stuff now, but essentially what it allows you to do is it allows you to go there, take the training, and then basically it's customer service. But you get to set your own hours each week. So you might be like, well, I got classes, so I could work, and they do it in 30-minute intervals too, which is good. So you might be like, well, I have a class at 9 and I have a class at 10. Well, 11 and 12, I'm free. I got another class at 1, and I got a class at 3. So at that point in time, okay, boom, I got extra time between 11 and 1. Let me do an hour and a half there. I got another time gap between 2 and 3. Let me do an hour there. Okay, and then the latest you could go is to like 11 at night. So you can work those hours like that. So once you stack all these things up, you'll notice that paying for tuition will become a lot. It'll become easier, or it becomes simpler. I'll put it that way. Not necessarily easy, because it may be hard doing the applications, trying to work, getting donations, and doing all these things. But if you really want it, as bad as you say you want it, and you want to get into the career that you want to get into, then you'll do these things. All right. So hopefully these tips helped you in order to help pay for school, pay for your tuition, help you stay in college, help you get back to the world. All right. So I'm gonna give it to you one more time, one more game. All right. I'm gonna give one. Make sure that you're filling out the FAFSA correctly. I talked about the 4 FAFSA laws. So if you don't remember what those are, you could rewind it, and if you really want to deep dive of what that is, then make sure that you look at that. Make sure you get the book so you can read that. 2, scholarships. Make sure that you're doing the scholarships, doing what you got to do online. If you get some kind of sports scholarships, do that. 3, donations. Go to the different organizations, nonprofits, maybe small businesses, and that's in the area, and it's all the same thing. All right, make sure you're doing that. Then 4, move off campus. So once you move off campus, like you said, that's going to take a big chunk, and then leave that out. All right, and then it'll make it more manageable to pay. And then number 5 is make sure that get a job, do what you got to do in order to pay. You got to pay on a monthly basis. Pay on a monthly basis, and do that, right? And then I'll also give you a bonus. I'll give you a bonus number 6 thing that you can do too if you want to save money and you want to be able to afford tuition. The 6 bonus is take the minimum amount of credits that you could take throughout the semester, because you have this, in order for you to stay a full-time student, there's a minimum amount, right? And then there's a maximum amount you could take. But you got to remember that each one of those classes, you're paying for those credit hours, right? So that means that the more credit hours that you're piling on, that's the more that you got to pay. So think about it. So think about, all right, what can I do? Maybe I could take off some classes this semester. Maybe think about taking it, making them up during the summer. Maybe thinking about making it up like the next semester or the next year. Maybe when finances change, different things of that nature. But just take the minimum amount of credits. Like I know for Virginia State University, ours was you had to at least take 12 credit hours in a semester, and then I think the maximum was like 21. So each one of those could cost hundreds of dollars for each credit, right? You're taking a 3 credit class, and each one of those could range hundreds of dollars for each one. So imagine how all of that can add up. Instead of taking 18 credits, now you're only taking 12. In fact, you could be saving a couple $1,000s just from taking less classes. So that's the number 6 bonus. So those are 6 things that I gave you today. So just try to stack all those up if you're finding it hard. Hopefully you wrote these down so you can use this by the time it hits next semester, so you be on point with that. All right, so with that, that's all I have for you today. I appreciate you for coming each and every week, staying focused, being a part of the program, grinding, making things happen. I'm excited. I hope you are excited as well. So make sure that you put down, what do you think about this? Comment. If you have any additional questions, I'm here and I'm ready to answer any other questions, either that you have about FAFSA, even that you have about paying for school, anything about, just anything about helping you get through this school, get through college faster, get through college better. It don't necessarily have to be in relation to what we've been talking about during the session, but just anything. And if not, also, make sure that you can involve yourself within the community and be able to get your questions answered, that way as well, either from me or from the other students who have experience in other areas. All right, but you can do this. It's just when it comes to FAFSA, or when it comes to just paying for school, or when it comes to getting internships, or when it comes to joining a Go with Greek, or when it comes to excelling academically, you can do these things. You can really do it, but it's just going to take consistency. It's going to take diligence from you. It's going to take some discipline. It's going to take you calling and talking to people to try to find out different things, and you can make things happen. All right. So I appreciate you again. If there's no other questions, then just continue to make sure that you are put in your calendar. Remember, this is going to be every week, every Sunday. We coming up to the end of the semester, so I want to make sure that you on point and that you're staying with these sessions, because I'm here to hold you accountable. I'm here to hold you accountable and make sure that you have the best years, the best semesters, and not only just academically, and not only just professionally, but also making sure that you have fun, making sure that this is the best experience, college experience, that you've ever had. That's why I'm here. I want to make sure that I'm helping you throughout this process, and that's why I'm doing this particular program this semester, and making sure that this is really here to help you. All right. So if there's no other questions, thank you. I commend your commitment, and put a comment down below on what you think about the session. Put a comment down below on what, if you have any other tips. Maybe I missed some things. Maybe there's some other ways that you could pay for school too. So if there's other ways that you found that is also helpful to pay for school, make sure that you put that down in the comments below. All right. So until next time, I see you continue to grind and continue to stay focused.